The year is 2016, and Dell has everyone saying hello. Rogue One was tearing it up at the box office, and Overwatch was just a baby. And on a totally related note, Tekken 7 was finally released on home consoles, Fatal Retribution at the arcades, and was met with a somewhat lukewarm reception. Admittedly, I can only wonder why. But I personally was still hyped for it because new Tekken is new music, and I would finally start playing Tekken more seriously. Yes, the console PC release would see the addition of new characters, stages, modes, and even gameplay mechanics, but my main focus, honestly, before I started getting into the game was just, the new music. And holy errata, they spared no expense in this regard, so let's get started. So about 2 years ago, I made a review on the original Tekken 7 OST, which had about 24 tracks, 2 CDs with 5 main artists on board. I would very quickly learn, however, that the plus in the T7 console OST release name was to be taken quite literally, with 4 discs, 18 or so artists, including my boy JS Bach, seriously he's on there, and essentially 4 hours of new additional tunes for my perusal. Being that the usual artist breakdown would take an entire video unto itself at this rate,
many apologies, audio issues during that latter part of the segment.
Alright, so Disc 1 and 2, spanning across these discs lies the bulk of the stage and system, player select, menu, customization, tracks. And if you thought the original T7 OST turned the dubstep knob to 11, T7 OST Plus, well, surprisingly the tunes here are pretty varied this time around, within the electronic spectrum of course, with only 1 or 2 tracks really venturing into the extreme dubstep route, with one in particular going even the gabber route, if you know what that one is, while mixing into a trap-esque styling. That'll be mentioned a bit later. Speaking of mixing genres, just a small example of this comes in the form of the Lonesome City Jazz series of songs, with a blend of dance and trap and jazz, of course. It really manages to work surprisingly well. However, the others here are of a standard affair within the T7 soundscape, with some pleasant surprises that'll be mentioned a bit later. Alright. Disc 3. Various story mode interludes and character ending themes. The former being performed with more acoustic instruments. Honestly, it's mostly a single guitar that conveys the more somber nature of the story mode. Reminds me a little of the ones heard in the Ace Combat Zero OST, actually. They're quick, simple, straightforward, and ultimately get the job done. Even if they're a little boring. The same can be said of the numerous character ending themes as well found on this disc, so nothing more to see here. Let's listen on. Alright, disc 4. You're not out of the woods yet. The remaining 18 tracks on the OST are a mix of some stage music and a few system tracks as well, remixes and all. More of the same here musically, honestly, similar to disc 1 and 2. So we won't dawdle here too long. However, I would have to also mention that the DLC character tracks are not present on the soundtrack, so you'll have to find them via some other means. So with about 98 tracks on this OST in total, finding 5 favorites was surprisingly easy actually. Here they are. Midnight Closet. Reminds me a bit of Your Sunset from Tekken Tag Tournament 2, but the smooth laid-back sound makes the limited customization fun all the same. Number 2, Distorter Second. It was a very tough choice between this and the first version, but the gabber, rock, trap, I don't know, dance infused hybrid with a build-up of about 46 seconds before the juicy part of the track drops was actually a big no-no for me when I first listened, but this song eventually grew on me, and just from the sheer intensity alone. It's definitely not for everyone though. Number 3, Heat Haze Shadow Series. I sorta cheated here because it's 2 songs, but this series of tracks is one that always got my blood pumping. The fast-paced D&B, chord choice, and the subtle vocals that kick in during round 2, or rather that kick in during the final round, just make this an excellent series of tracks for me. Number 4, Violet Systems Series. Yes, this is 2 songs again, but damn, Okubo really knocks it out of the park with this one. His only contribution to this OST, surprisingly. And number 5, Moonsider's First. The Infinite Azure level round 1 theme proves to be a nice change of pace with the great piano work in tandem with the lighter D&B work. Non-faves. While I try to have a set number of faves, I do my best not to dwell on the negative too long. However, here are a few tracks on the OST that really didn't resonate with me. Moonsider's 2, or Moonsider's 2nd. You knew this was coming if you're familiar with the OST, which starts off like a solid enough beginning for final round music. Quickly goes into what the hell territory with a change up and drop so bizarre I can't help but wonder what the thought processes were. Just sounds like a beatbox session gone terribly wrong. I mean, it's a meme worthy track to me, especially when it comes on during a tournament, but it's one I could never really take seriously. And the second set of tracks here, there are only 2, would be the Kinder Gym series. Not only do I strongly dislike the level these songs play on, but the extremely saccharine, over-the-top, happy-go-lucky-esque nature of these 2 songs just puts me on edge. That blasted, distorted, bit-crushed lead, I swear. Despite the wide array of songs here on the OST, this particular set of them sounds more at home in some sort of Katamari spin-off or something. Closing words. While remaining very polarizing among fans of Tekken due to its very compositional nature, its 90% EDM dubstep, the additional tracks added for the console release serve to naturally enhance T7's atmosphere and world. But while many tracks work fine when you just perform that sweet electric punish, or in my case whiff, it's definitely an acquired, outside of the game, taste, to say the least. But there's definitely good to be found here amongst the would-be noise in the market. Give it a listen and see what you like.